Hi everyone, hope you all are doing well and are safe, and I hope that this Intern Gyan video helps you all. So let's get started. I have this board with me to help me navigate through the video. So firstly, who am I? I am Anish Saxena. I am a junior undergraduate pursuing mechanical engineering at IIT Kanpur, and last year I sat for internships through SPO, and I had something called an academic preference, which basically means that when you register for SPO, you have the choice of filling either a corporate preference or an academic preference. The academic preference allows you to forego your internship, your corporate internship, which you obtain through SPO, for academic and research internships. Obviously, there are a few conditions to that, so we'll come to that a bit later. So I did have an academic preference, and I got a corporate internship from offer from JP Morgan and Chase in a software engineering role, which is more specifically a cloud engineering role, wherein we are supposed to, or we were rather supposed to, maintain and implement technologies in the cloud infrastructure of JP Morgan and Chase. So a month or so back, I secured a research internship at Intel Labs in the Processor Architecture Research Lab. So I used the academic preference to forego the JPMC internship, and now I am currently pursuing the internship at Intel Labs as an architecture research intern. So that's my journey so far, and I'm currently doing the internship. So just to answer the quick question, did I get blacklisted from SPO? No, I did not. So if you read the terms of the internship policy carefully and follow the guidelines and submit the paperwork and documents on time, then I think you should be alright. And you can always contact SPO for this, because they are very helpful in this regard. So what is my profile at Intel? Well, this is a research internship, so I am supposed to read up the state of the art through academic papers and other means, and try to implement them or enhance them, and it is basically a research internship. So just to get a quick overview of what type of internships there are, in my opinion, it is that we have around 3 different kind of internships. One would be a proper corporate internship, wherein you are supposed to implement something, right? So there is already an idea or a theme, and you are supposed to work to make it, to realize it basically. And you are not really involved in the design phase of that idea or theme, but in the implementation phase. So this basically applies to, even though I am a mechanical engineering undergraduate, what I'm talking about basically applies to computer science related fields mainly, because that's what I have the most experience in, so I can talk about that the most. So anyways, what I'm trying to say is, in a corporate internship, you are supposed to realize something or implement something, be it data science, be it ML, be it systems, which I am doing. So you're not really in the design phase of the problem. Whereas in academic internships, which you usually do with a professor in a university, you are usually involved in the design phase, and you design or implement new ideas or improve upon existing ideas in literature and so on and so forth. So that there is an academic internship, then there is a corporate internship, and there is something in the middle of that, which I would call corporate research internship or industrial research internship. That's what I am doing. It's basically all of academic internship, but focused to benefit the firm which you are working for, obviously. So in my case, whatever I am doing is mostly for the benefit of Intel. It is their proprietary technologies mostly which I am using, and so on. So I think you get the difference between these 3, right? So now, what are the relevant skills and courses? So for my internship, which I am an architecture research intern, so the most relevant skills that you would need are solid foundations in C, C++, and to an extent Python, and being very comfortable with the Linux environment and operating system. And in terms of courses, you would need a solid background of data structures and computer organization, which is CS220, which is the basics of computer hardware organization. Then you would obviously need exposure to computer architecture, which is CS422. So can you do without actually having done these courses? I think data structures and computer organization is the very least. Computer architecture, if you have done projects related in that field, then you might be alright, because I was actually doing computer architecture in this semester, the 6th semester, while I secured the intern. So it's fine. But you obviously need a proper background in that. So let's come to a very common question: is data structure and algorithm in competitive programming, are they important? So I would say for most computer science related internships, data structures and algorithms is the very base. So like you need to have a good foundation in DS or DSA, right? Competitive programming, well, for most corporate internships, I would say competitive programming is also required, because you need to solve problems in coding tests, right? And I'm not, so when I talk about coding tests, I would not really be talking about core CS interns like in Rubrik or AlphaGraph, because I did not give any tests for that, right? So I'm talking about the ones which are open to all students, right? For example, Gartner or obviously JP Morgan, and also like Goldman Sachs and so on. So all of them require you to have proper coding skills, right? And by coding skills, I don't mean you know the language, you know how to solve the problem also, right? So like dynamic programming, greedy algorithms, so on and so forth, you need to know that. So it's good to do competitive programming if you are aiming for coding based internships or software engineering internships. For research internships, I don't think it's really that important. You need to be aware of the field that you want to work in, obviously. That's more important in my opinion. So there is that. And let's talk a bit about research interns, right? How do you secure research interns and how do you apply? I think the best time to apply for research interns, first of all, there are research internship programs, right? For example, SN Bose, Charpak, which is for France, SN Bose is for US, and then there is the EPF program by EPFL, Summer School by EPFL, which is in EPFL is in Switzerland. So all of these programs have their own deadline, so keep a tab on that. In addition to that, if you want to apply to a specific prof, which you probably will if you are pursuing research internships, then you should I think start applying anywhere in like August, September, October. So these are like the right months to apply in, August to say December, January. So you might normally be done by January or February, because there is also the issue of visas. Now I don't really know how the situation will unfold because of COVID-19, but in general that is the norm. So also selecting professors is very important. Contrary to popular belief, I would strongly suggest you to not mail 10 professors every day, because the content of the mail will not be that good in quality, right? So I would suggest reading up what the professor has researched on, what his current focus is, deciphering what he actually is working on, and seeing what if your interests align with his, and then mailing something which combines all of these things. So that would help a lot, I think, rather than mailing 10 professors every day. Even if you mail up a few professors, that's fine, as long as you elicit some reply, or you know that you actually read about the professor before mailing. That's important. I talked about research internships programs, but if you want to apply for corporate research internships or industrial research internships, I think one of the best ways, at least in computer systems, is to get into labs, research labs. So there is Intel Lab, there is Microsoft Research Lab, then Microsoft Research, sorry. Then there is also Qualcomm Research and IRL, which is IBM Research Lab, and so on. So there are a few labs, a handful of labs, which work on areas like ML, AI, computer systems, and getting into those would require you to keep a tab on those labs, as in you could mail a researcher in that lab directly, or the director of a particular lab in that firm. But I think in that case, referrals would be pretty important. I got one, and it is usually very hard to get into labs without referrals, especially if you are an undergraduate, which I think most of you are. So that's how you should aim if you want to get into corporate research interns. So last but not the least, what do you do now if you don't have like your semester going on or anything else? I think you should continue to learn in the field that you want to eventually do a research internship in. And a good start would be, I think, obviously the online courses that you have through even Coursera, even data structures you can do through Coursera. I think that would be nice. So anyways, projects with professors from IITK or from any other university, even if they are remote, will be very helpful in securing a full-fledged research intern in the future. So in my second year, I did a project at CAR 3S Group research project, which actually is like kind of still going on because it's in the final phases. So I think they really add to the value of getting a research internship eventually. And if you find a good project under a good prof, surely go for it. So I think that was all that I had in this video. And if you have any questions or doubts, feel free to ping me. And I hope you guys learned something and do prepare well for the internships. All the best. Thank you.